Chapter 3. Saturday? Mom roared that night when Darcy announced the news about Trinity College. Next week? That's impossible. We can't do it. What? Darcy exclaimed, stunned at her mother's response. We're proud of you, Darcy. We really are. But we can't drop everything right now and go to that informational meeting. Not on such short notice, Mom explained as she rubbed her temples. Darcy couldn't believe her ears. She knew Cooper's party was an obstacle to the orientation program, but she figured her parents would be happy and supportive. Instead, they acted as if the news bothered them. But if I miss the orientation, I'm out, Darcy groaned. They'll give my spot to someone else. We're the only ones from Bluford who were chosen. Darcy's father leaned forward in his chair at the kitchen table, his elbows bent, his hands knotted under his chin. Dressed in the charcoal jacket and slate baseball cap he wore on nights he worked as an Uber driver, he looked old to Darcy. Gone was the youthful man with coffee skin, jet black hair, and playful eyes who used to carry her on his back and make up corny stories to make her laugh. That man abandoned them for another woman years ago. When he finally returned last year, sad and contrite, he had transformed. His skin had grown saggy and weathered, his eyes darker and more somber. Darcy saw how hard he worked to rebuild trust since he had come back into their lives, and it showed on his face. Creases lined his once smooth cheeks, and his hair, now mixed with spots of silver, had receded slightly. Lately, Darcy noticed the years were showing on Mom, too. Puffy circles hung under her eyes no matter how much sleep she got, and she complained constantly of sore feet and an aching back. She slouched in the chair next to Dad, her black maternity pants stretched tight over the baby bump where her hands rested. I don't know, maybe you could go by yourself if we could find a way to get you there, Mom suggested, flipping through the Trinity College folder. Darcy explained how Ms. Briggs said a parent or guardian needed to attend. I don't understand. Why can't one of you go? You're always driving Jamie places. That's not fair, Darcy, and it's not true either. Yeah, why are you even bringing me into this? Yelled Jamie, Darcy's younger sister from her nearby bedroom. I'm sorry, Darcy, Mom said, ignoring Jamie's question. But we have something important we have to do next Saturday. Important? You mean this isn't important? Tell her why we can't go, Maddie, Dad cut in. His voice sounded hoarse, as if he had been talking for hours. She deserves to know. They both do. What is it? Darcy asked. Is something wrong? Her parents stared at each other. Mom inhaled deeply and sighed. Jamie emerged from her bedroom. What's going on? She asked. Had Dad been drinking again? Darcy wondered. Had they been fighting? A flood of worries spilled through Darcy's mind before Mom finally spoke up. We have an appointment with a doctor on Saturday. A doctor? Yes. We spent the whole afternoon arranging it so we could both go. Dad's missing work, I'm missing a shift at the hospital. They're squeezing us in on short notice with a specialist. I'm sorry, but we have to do this. But why? Darcy asked, struggling to make sense of what her parents were saying. Yeah, is something wrong? Jamie shut off her phone and sat at the table. I'm old, Mom answered with a sad laugh. You're not old. To be having a baby I am, Mom explained. I'm much older than I was when I had you girls. For people my age, pregnancy can be complicated. So I have to get all these extra tests. Tests? Just to make sure everything's okay, Dad answered quickly. His words seemed forced. They do them for older mothers as a precaution. Nothing to worry about, he added, almost as if he were trying to convince himself. But since I'm not allowed to drive after the tests, your father needs to take me. The good news is we'll find out if the baby is a boy or girl. But the bad news is we won't be able to take you to the orientation. If it were anything else, we'd cancel it to be there, Mom insisted. Both of us would, Dad added, rubbing his neck as if it were strained. Darcy felt a twinge of guilt for being so upset. Their news made the orientation seem silly and unimportant. Mom was right to look out for the baby, Darcy's little sister or brother. The idea still felt strange, even though Mom announced the pregnancy months ago. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'll tell Miss Briggs. No, I'll call her, Mom grumbled. I don't care how special they think they are, life is messy. I work in an ER and see it every day. They need to allow us to reschedule or let you go alone. Messy. The word echoed in Darcy's mind as she glanced at the brochure. The faces on the cover beamed back at her with perfect smiles, perfect teeth, perfect skin. They seemed to come from a planet where messiness didn't exist, where dads didn't leave their families, grandparents never got sick, and kids never had to care for them or say goodbye forever. All we got is messy, Darcy thought to herself, remembering her grandmother and how she had died in her sleep in the bedroom down the hall. It happened just last summer, though it felt much longer. If Grandma were here, and still strong, she'd take me to Trinity College. Darcy was certain of it. She wished she could tell Grandma the news that she had been accepted into the program. I'm so proud of you, Angel Cake, Darcy could almost hear her say. Maybe there's another way, Dad spoke up, interrupting Darcy's thoughts. There isn't, Carl. You know what the doctor said. We can't skip Charlotte, Dad said. The name seemed to suck the air out of the kitchen. Mom's face flinched for a second, as if she smelled something unpleasant, but then her eyes widened. Do you think she could take Darcy? Are you serious? Jamie exclaimed. Oh, I am so glad this doesn't involve me. Aunt Charlotte. Darcy hadn't even considered it. The idea of visiting Trinity College with her stuffy aunt seemed as foreign as the college itself. Darcy's aunt lived in a fancy townhouse on the other end of town. She worked at a bank and made lots of money, which she was never afraid to flaunt with her clothes, her car, or the expensive trips she took. Though she and Mom were sisters, they didn't agree on much. By far, the biggest issue with Aunt Charlotte was how she had treated Grandma after her stroke. Aunt Charlotte had wanted to put her in a nursing home, but Mom insisted on caring for her at home. The disagreement caused a wound in the family that still hadn't healed. There's only one way to find out, Mom said, grabbing her phone. She stared at it for a few seconds as if she dreaded the call she was about to make. The swell of her belly seemed larger than ever. It's okay, Mom, Darcy began. Don't call her. No, it's not okay. There's no reason you should miss out because we have to go to the doctor. Besides, Charlotte's always been interested in helping you girls succeed. Remember how she once talked about taking you to France? She might be excited to do this with you. I don't care where I need to go, Jamie mumbled. Aunt Charlotte is not taking me. And don't let her cook for you either, Dad joked. The one thing everyone agreed about Aunt Charlotte was that her home-cooked meals were horrible. Remember that eggplant casserole? Yuck, Jamie exclaimed. Mom smiled weakly, but also waved for them to be quiet as she made the phone call. Hello, Charlotte? Mom's voice sounded forced at first, but quickly eased. Darcy listened as her mother described the bridge program and the weekend orientation. She was just about to ask the question, Darcy could tell, when Aunt Charlotte said something that stopped her. I can't go because I have some tests to take. Medical tests, she said, lowering her voice. She got up from the table and darted to her bedroom. When she emerged 10 minutes later, Mom looked as if she had eaten one of Aunt Charlotte's homemade stews. Okay, that's done. Charlotte will take you. Problem solved, Mom said, rubbing her shoulder wearily and looking back toward her room. But after that conversation, I need a nap, she announced. And I gotta go. Dad stood up, adjusting his hat. Since I'm out next Saturday, I need to pick up all the rides I can. I'll be working the airport tonight. He gave Mom a quick kiss on the cheek and gently rubbed her belly. It's gonna be all right, he whispered as he left. But Darcy saw something lurking in his eyes, concern, or maybe something more, fear. She wondered if Jamie noticed it too, but her sister's face was locked on her phone, her thumbs moving in a blur on the screen. For a split second, Darcy thought she saw a picture of students in Bluford's locker room, but when she leaned in for a better look, Jamie pocketed her phone. I got homework, she said abruptly and rushed down the hallway. Mom waddled to her bedroom and closed the door, leaving Darcy alone in the suddenly quiet kitchen, her mind buzzing with questions. College. Hakeem. Tarah. And now something else. Her parents. The baby. Was something wrong? Were they hiding something serious? Can you meet? Playground. 20 minutes. Hakeem's text arrived after Darcy finished her Thursday shift at Scoop's, the ice cream shop where she had worked part-time since the summer. She and Jamie had just eaten dinner. Jamie fled to her room after the meal, leaving a ketchup-smeared plate on the table as if Darcy were her maid. "I cooked. You're supposed to do the dishes," Darcy hollered through Jamie's closed bedroom door. "I know," Jamie yelled. "I'll do it later." "That's what you always say," Darcy grumbled. "I'm not covering for you this time. If Mom sees it, I said I'll do it later," Jamie repeated, yanking open the door and glaring at Darcy. "You're not Mom. You don't have to nag me. Besides, if you do this college thing next summer, I'm going to have to do everything myself around here," she huffed. "Good. For once you'll know how I feel," Darcy snapped. She pictured Jamie cooking, scrubbing, folding, and shopping while Darcy strolled the leafy campus of Trinity College. The thought almost made her smile as Jamie shut her bedroom door. Darcy quickly answered Hakeem's text. "OMW," she wrote, and got ready to leave. She was rushing toward the front door when her phone began vibrating. Darcy was so sure it was Hakeem, she didn't check the number before answering. "Did you get my text? I'm on my way," she said. "You're coming here?" An unexpected voice replied. It was Tarah. "Oh, no," Darcy laughed. "I thought you were Tarah cut in before Darcy could explain. "You think Jamie could come over early Saturday to help? You know, with setting up for Coop's party, since you're doing your college thing and won't be there till 3? Tarah's words hung like an off-key note in a church choir. Darcy felt her eyes twitch in annoyance. Tarah made it seem as though she had chosen something small and silly over Cooper's party. Tarah didn't seem to care if the program could impact Darcy's future, and she didn't seem to care about Jamie either. "I don't know, Tarah," Darcy said slowly, swallowing back her irritation. "You really think it's a good idea to put her and Des together right now?" she asked. Jamie and Desmond were a couple until just 2 weeks ago. They broke up after someone spread rumors in school that Jamie hooked up with a girl on the cheerleading team. The stories were false, but for a short time, Des believed them and confronted Jamie. She never forgave him for doubting her or reacting the way he did. "Remember the whole thing with that girl Angel?" "Oh, yeah," Tarah replied, her voice limp and distracted. "Right, I forgot about that." "Forgot?" Darcy nearly dropped her phone. It didn't seem possible that Tarah, of all people, could forget that. Until now, Tarah had always been the person who remembered details and could figure out why someone might be upset. It was one reason Darcy liked Tarah so much. "I mean, do you even need the extra help, Tarah?" Darcy asked, trying to hide what she really felt, that Tarah's obsessing over the party was becoming a problem. "Cooper won't get there until 6, so we'll have 3 full hours. You've thrown bigger parties than this. That reunion you did last summer was like twice as big, right?" "You mean the one you didn't go to?" Tarah snapped. Darcy winced. She realized she should not have mentioned it. Yes, she had missed Tarah's family reunion, but why was it such a big deal? It was a family event with a bunch of Tarah's relatives, not a friend's party. Still, Tarah remained angry about it and brought it up whenever she had the chance. "Tarah, I'm sorry, okay? How many times do I have to say it? I had to work." "Always something, right?" Tarah said, ignoring the apology. "Anyway, this is different. This one's for Coop. Don't you understand? It needs to be perfect." "It will be, Tarah. Besides, it's Cooper. He'd be happy with pizza and soda." "But I won't," Tarah declared, her voice rising. "I mean, I know it's not your college thing, but it's important to me." There it was again. Your college thing. This time the words hit like a slap. Darcy blinked in surprise. Tarah had teased her before. Last year, she had even accused Darcy of acting as if she was smarter than everyone else. But that was a long time ago. They had grown to be close friends since then. At least that's what Darcy thought. But now something was changing. Tarah seemed to be trying to hurt her or push her away. Why? Confusion and anger bubbled in Darcy's chest. "What's wrong, Tarah?" she asked carefully. "Did I do something?" "No, forget it. Just ask Jamie if she'll come early. Text me what she says," Tarah said tersely. "I gotta go." Tarah hung up before Darcy could ask another question. Annoyed, Darcy shoved the phone in her pocket and stumped down the hall to Jamie's room, knocking twice on the closed door. "What?" her sister yelled. "I told you I'll do the dishes later." Darcy pushed the door open and poked her head inside. Clothes, papers, random shoes, and an empty soda can were strewn about as if a small tornado had just swept through. Mom used to bug Jamie about cleaning her room, but that stopped when Mom announced she was pregnant. Now, as long as Jamie's door was closed and the mess didn't spill into the hall, Mom didn't say a word. To Darcy, it seemed there were two sets of rules, strict ones for her and a looser set for Jamie. And yet it was always Jamie who complained things were unfair. "What do you want?" Jamie asked. She sprawled on her cluttered bed with her phone in hand, one eye on the small screen and the other on Darcy. The stack of laundry Darcy folded yesterday had toppled over, spilling clean clothes on the dirty carpet. "Great," Darcy yelled in annoyance. "I spent half an hour folding that stuff for you, and now it's on the floor." Jamie rolled her eyes and tossed her phone aside. "What do you want?" she repeated. "I'm going out," Darcy said bluntly. "In case you need me, I'll be back in an hour." "Where you going?" Jamie sat up, her brown eyes suddenly bright with curiosity. "The playground." Jamie wrinkled her nose. "Why would you hang around there? Too many little kids." "None of your business. You're meeting Hakeem, aren't you?" When Darcy nodded, Jamie smiled as if she had just won an argument. "Are you finally going to have the talk?" "What talk?" "You know, the one that makes it official. That you're back, a couple again. I mean, that's what you're doing, right?" "Okay, I'm leaving," Darcy said, shutting down Jamie's questions. "I don't need relationship advice from my little sister." "Even if it's right?" Jamie asked. Her phone pinged as if she had just scored a point. "Oh, it's Amberlyn. It's about time." Again, Jamie's fingers flashed across her screen, and she seemed to forget Darcy was there. "Bye, Jamie," Darcy said finally, leaving the house. She decided not to mention Tarah's request. After everything Tarah said, Darcy didn't feel like doing her any favors.